Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Thirsk on the 18th of September 2023. So, a quick recap on Saturday's performance. Well, it was a winning day. It was a losing bet on the football, but we pretty much doubled his money. £30 stake, around about £60 return. So, very nice. It could have been oh so different if Broad Appeal, is it Broadly Appeal? Something like that. Had won the first. It went clear with a third, well, I won't say miles clear, but I think it went a good length or 2 lengths clear in the first race, or our first leg. Tasty 11-1. I think it actually touched 11-2. It looked like they were on that day. I'm definitely a fan of Jonathan Portman. Unfortunately, his other one didn't run quite as well. It never looked like running any kind of race, Russian Rumour. But anyway, yeah, we had Anaf. The big prize, well, I say big prize, it returned favourite, I think, in the end. I think we backed it at 14s. I think it returned 6s or 11-2. Very well backed. The money was clearly down. Appleby, very rare that they leave the money behind. I was a bit worried, to be fair. It wasn't going that well compared to last time, but I think it was just too good for them. Even when it was niggled along, it was still making decent ground. And then what could have happened is the horse had been following for quite a while. Significantly, I thought, oh, here we go. Just when I've not advised the forecasts. What a forecast that would have been. And I did fancy the horse. I just didn't think it had a chance from the high draw. But anyway, let's get into Monday's selections. So, it's forecast loads of rain. And I'm just going to prove it here. So, I'm not going to look daft. If you want to look at this, this is a webcam of Thirsk Marketplace. I don't think the racecourse is too far. To find this website, all you do is you type in Thirsk Marketplace webcam. Click on the website, scroll down, and you'll get to this bit. You can actually zoom in a bit, and obviously you can see what the weather is there and then. In fact, I've just looked. I can see forecast just at the top. It says tonight light rain, then Monday thundery showers. So let's hope that thunder keeps away. But anyway, this is the one I normally follow. So currently 7 o'clock tonight. So let's go by the 3/4 an hour. So 8:30, 9:15. So let me just slow it down a bit now. So this is half an hour in intervals. So plenty of rain going through first. Odd bit of red. Plenty of blue. Bit of blue for dads. Half an hour. Then keep going. Hey, oh, where's that going to suddenly come from? 3:45. There. Plenty of rain knocking around. Blue is the lightest of rain. It's like maybe an odd bit of drizzle. Under 0.5 mil an hour. Keep going. You see a bit of... don't know if that actually makes it there. Right, hold on. 9:15. So as you can see now, you've got some quite heavy rain heading towards Thirsk. It does seem to die down a bit, but there you can see heavy rain again, or definitely rain that could change the going. It's already, I believe... I'll leave that one. It's either good to soft in places, or good to soft in places. I think it's... yeah, let me look at this. In fact, forget that. So anyway, let's keep going with the weather. So it becomes quite heavy at times. 1:15, still before first race. So around about first race, you may get the odd shower after that. So let me get into the bets. And I'm going to try and click on a horse so you can see what the current state of the ground is. So I spent a tenner. It's a 10 pence each way, lucky 31. I've had the highest amount each way on my nap, which I'll explain in a minute. And then all the rest of it, I've had 30 pence each way singles. So I think it works out to a 70 pence each way single on the nap. So it's a £10 stake for the day. And I think it could well be it until Friday or Saturday. I will be purely down to the weather, whether I think there's some kind of advantage. Otherwise, it could be a blank until Friday or Saturday. So let's get into it. So the first selection is Foshan at 18-1 in the 150 at Thirsk, paying 5 places instead of 3. The last time this horse ran, it ran pretty well on good to soft ground. It hasn't ran for 466 days. It reappears in first-time cheek pieces. It reappears as well, making its debut for Adam Nicol, who also trains my nap of the day a bit later on. And I do believe it's in the same colours. They could well be looking for a decent price each way double or double. It's got decent apprentice on board, Connor Planis, and I think it's interesting that it's got first time cheek pieces on. You'd think the fact that it ran for this trainer first time, you think they just let it run, see how it got on, and see how they could improve it next time. Very interesting. They've got to use them cheek pieces at home, in my opinion, and they must have seen some kind of improvement, or they may have seen some quirk at home. And yes, like I said, there must be some kind of improvement with the cheek pieces. Otherwise, they'd just left them until after the first run for this trainer. So very interesting. Also very interesting that I really fancy the other horse that they've got later on during the day. The next selection is Amazing Winnie at 18 to 1 in the 220 at Thirsk, paying 4 places instead of 3. I actually can't remember all about this horse, but I think it's got first time blinkers. I have also gone for horses that are drawn high on the straight course, more towards this near side. They tend to come either down the middle or drift towards this near side, which is high, middle to high numbers. When it's chucking it down and really bad ground, they do normally hug this very near side. So I've gone for that perspective or that angle. So this horse, it ran its best race. I believe it was good to soft over 6 furlong. That's it, I can remember now. So it ran a disappointing race next time out on good firm ground, which I'm guessing it didn't want. And then it ran over a mile, which I don't think it wanted a mile either. So I think it could be a very tough 6 furlongs that it always encounters. And it's got first time blinkers to kick it up the backside. And to be honest, first two runners are very interesting. Both 18 to 1 could be a very nice start. We better look. The third selection is Jazzigal at 7 to 1 in the 5+4 at Thirsk, paying 4 places instead of 3. I can't give up on this horse because of one bad run. I did tip it last time. I could not see how it could finish out the first. I think it was first 4 that day, but it did. Rob Hornby, I'll say drove it that day, rode it that day. Yeah, I think it just ran a poor race. I don't know why. Did it not like the stiff track? I don't know. But I do believe if it managed to run at least to the same level as it did on its reappearance, where Tim Easterby's are not renowned for being ready on their reappearance. Well, I think it could run a much better race. At 7 to 1, I think it's got every chance. It's also drawn high as well. The nap of the day is Purple Gown at 17 to 2 in the 5+5 at Thirsk, paying 4 places instead of 3. This has got some Irish form, and this is absolutely crying out for every single drop of rain that falls tomorrow. Every drop that falls, its chance increases. It absolutely hacked up. Well, I say hacked up. It won comfortably. I think it was over a mile on heavy ground, and it could have been Punchestown, but it doesn't really matter. Well, it won the race by 2.5 lengths, and there was 11 lengths back to the next horse. Well, this horse has only run 2 average races so far, but it did show a big improvement on its second run. So hopefully, if it improves the same again for this dreadful ground as well, I think it's got every chance. Personally, I think this horse, I don't think it does a lot fast. So I think it needs to be not forcing the pace, but I forgot how many runners there is. So there's playing 4 places, so there's going to be roughly around 14 runners. I personally think it needs to be no worse than 4th. Not pressing leader or forcing the pace. It needs to be like what you call in touch. Not even track leaders, in touch. So that's that selection. And I do think it'll basically outstay the rest of them. At Punchestown, I think it was Punchestown, it looked like it was a horse that just kept going and kept going. Although on its most recent run at Hamilton, it looked like it got a bit of a turn of foot. So it looked like a completely different horse, to be fair. But I think personally it needs to be just behind the pace, 4th or 5th, and then basically outstay the rest of them. And I really like the fact that there's 2 horses that I think have got sniffs, both from the same trainer and the same ownership. And finally, Cat's Bob at 17 to 2 in the 550 at Thirsk, paying 5 places instead of 3. I think this horse will be up with the pace, and I do believe a lot of the horses, there's quite a few horses that have been running well, but I think a lot of the horses, because they've been winning or running well, they've been up in the handicap, and I think this ground, or this big changing ground, could find a lot of them out, and this horse will be up with the pace. It tends to run a bit keen, so we don't really want that tomorrow, and I think he could potentially get first run on a lot of these horses and just about hang on, or at least get a place. So those are the horses. I really like the look of them. Definitely got interesting angles. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, Over and out. Cheers, mate.